incredible graphics, incredible sound, incredible music, welcome to Jurassic Park Builder, you piece of shit. Welcome back to the channel, you little nasties. I, of course, am your host, the Nasty Bedazzler. Now, today we're going to be taking a look at a game called Jurassic Park 3 Park Builder. This was developed and released by Konami in 2001 on the Game Boy Advance. Now, the footage you're seeing in this video was actually captured on my Game Boy Advance player on my original GameCube. So, the footage you're seeing here is still captured on original hardware, just in case you were curious. Now, there is another game out there that sounds very similar to this one. It's called Jurassic Park Builder. And that was actually developed by an entirely different group. It was developed by Ludia. It was only released on iOS and Android if for some reason you felt like you needed that in your life. But even if you did, that game's since been discontinued in 2020. But you're not shit out of luck though. There is a fan project that I believe is out now, just I believe called Jurassic Park Builder. So if you're interested in that and you liked that original game, you can go and check that one out. I just learned about it, so I'm not going to be covering it here. But all of that being said, let's go take a look at the Konami version now. Right off the bat, you know you're in for some serious hardcore park building from the realistic dinosaur sounds that greet you when you first boot up the game. Holy crap, I mean, am I playing the game or am I really there? Okay, also, just saying it's a coincidence I ended up playing this with the newest movie coming out in just a few months, as of this recording in April 2025. The truth is, I was laying in bed playing random GBA games and stumbled across this one on my flash card. 6 hours later, I figured I might as well make a video on it. If I wanted to be a shill, I would have just held onto this one and released it closer to the new movie's release, which is called Jurassic World Rebirth, because that's the hot new buzzword at the moment. I know nothing else about it since I lost interest after the last Jurassic World Abomination. I don't even remember what that one was called. It was a terrible waste of 6 hours of my life. Anyway, let's get on with this review. If you ever played SimCity on the Super Nintendo, you'll have a pretty decent idea of what this game wants from you, despite the fact they are fairly different games. You have exactly one save game on this, so if anyone else in your house wants to play, tell them to go to hell. You also only have your choice of exactly one map, and it is the same every time. As you start, you'll name your park, and you're on your way. There are cheats you can name your park for extra start bonuses, such as 99 million dino bucks from the outset, and if you're just looking for a casual playthrough, which I did that on my second time through, and it was a lot more fun. It always is with more money in these games, obviously, at least it is to me. There's a small list of codes you can name your park for bonuses. I'll put them up on the screen here. The pause button is your friend because I'm only keeping them up for a second. Now, as you'll start, you'll probably be confused. Don't worry, it's not just you because Konami cannot be bothered to help you get started at all. There's not a single tutorial here, they just throw you into the game and say good luck. I'm not asking for an insane hand-holding experience here, but even just a basic text tutorial in-game would have been immensely helpful. So I had to look up a guide in order to get started and even figure out what to do. I'm surprised I even did that, as I have little patience for shit like this, and yet here we are. So you'll see the main gate and an empty slate of a map, and it's not a huge map. I was able to fill mine in just a few hours, so try to plan ahead. Start building roads and walkways and perusing the menu, seeing what you want to build and where. Some pre-planning would be nice, and you've got 3 menus to peruse through: construction, office mode, and facility management. They each do what you would think mostly. Every item you can build is available from the outset in the construction menu. Roads, walkways, a restaurant, coffee shop, a hotel, a gift shop, statues, streetlights, landscape stuff like trees, and of course, dinosaur pens. The game never tells you this because it never tells you anything, but you can only build 8 dino pens, though you can combine multiple pens, which still only counts as 1. It took me until the very end of my second playthrough to figure that out on accident. Thanks, Konami. You'll also want to order some buses off the office menu because people gotta get around. I would suggest you work on fleshing out your park first and maybe building some dino cages, but don't worry about getting the dinosaurs yet until you feel you've got a decent backbone for the park laid down. The things you are allowed to build here are basic and not as numerous as one would hope. You have one kind of gift shop, exactly one restaurant option called Rex, one generic hotel, etc. I'm not going to deep dive into this, but under the facility management menu I mentioned a moment ago, you can set prices and whatnot to these amenities. amenities. There are deeper stats available to you, so you can see which stores are performing poorly, and you could adjust your prices to try and lure people to them. It's your basic theme park management simulator, but stripped back for play on the Game Boy Advance, and I'm not complaining about that. Just keep in mind, if you're looking for an insanely deep simulation experience, this isn't it, as the gameplay loop is pretty basic, and once you understand all the things Konami never tells you, it's pretty easy to pick up and play. Once you are happy with the way things are going at your park, you can start excavating for Dino DNA. All you do is select on the map where you want to send your team and for how long, and you wait. There's a lot of waiting in this game when it comes to many of these actions, and that's fine. Set the game speed too fast and quit fucking around. Once your team arrives back, they'll have brought with them Dino DNA sequences. You can go and analyze their results, and if they happen to find a full sequence, you can now clone a dinosaur in the egg creation menu. You can switch between full DNA sequences that you have here with the L or R buttons, and any new dinosaur will start off as just a number. Go ahead and clone that bad boy, and the game will send it to the plant incubator. After a certain amount of time, this will hatch. You'll find out what it was, and you can place it in whatever dino pen you wish. There are things you want to keep in mind here. Herbivores will live a lot longer if you put them in a pen with other herbivores, and carnivores will constantly be killing each other because that's how life works. The game will tell you which category each dino falls into, so there isn't any guesswork there, and without getting into it too hard, just make sure you continue to upgrade your dino pens and make sure they remain fortified, which is another part of the gameplay loop. Once your dinos have been placed, consider sending out the excavation team again to continue collecting DNA and getting more dinosaurs to add. I do want to add that there's a 2-player connectivity mode here, and there is no way in hell I will ever check that out, but you can swap DNA with your friends and any random stranger on the street if you're nasty, which sounds hot, but in my opinion, I'm fine getting my own DNA, if you know what I'm saying. I'm talking about jerking off. On my couch, dude. Hail Odin. Anyway, everything you do in life and in this game costs money, and you need to draw people into your park. This is very simple to do, as you can advertise to customers because that's what people do in real life. You'll have your choice of a few different options, like a commercial on TV or in a magazine, and each have their own effectiveness, rating, and cost. Do that and reap the rewards, my friend. Once the customers are there, you will see either a satisfaction or dissatisfaction emoji over their head. Click that icon to see what they like and what they dislike and adjust your park accordingly. Now you've essentially completed the entire gameplay loop, albeit you will continue to do this over and over until your park is fully stacked with 30 of the same hotels, restaurants, gift shops, and so on. Make sure you continue to buy more buses as well as you expand. It matters. You can also look at what the customers are generally pleased and displeased with in the office management menu, and you should check that out from time to time. When all is said and done, your park won't be the most fascinating thing to look at since it's all the same assets over and over, but it does get the job done, and on the tiny GBA, I'm relatively fine with it. I guess the major draw here is the unique dino sprites you get as you unlock them and add them to your pens because they all show up, which is a nice little touch. As your park expands, you will get many notices on the bottom notification bar, and this happens far more frequently later on in the game, such as when one of the carnivores your dumbass placed in a pen with an herbivore killed such dinosaur. Animals will also just naturally die, but you can delay this by making sure to visit facility management and keeping your dino pens in good shape and treating all the animals there regularly. You will also receive updates when your excavation teams return and when dinosaur eggs hatch. Keep an eye on this. However, one complaint I've got is that the game doesn't give you much of a choice since the game will pause until you acknowledge the notification. So, no letting the game run its course while you go take a shit or anything like that, because the first notification you get will pause the game until you get back. I mean, I guess it's the GBA, it is portable, you can take it with you while shitting, but let's say you're making out or you're fingering your girlfriend in the woods. Now what? I guess your park will just have to wait, which sucks because we do have priorities. It is a little disappointing because I remember I used to leave SimCity on overnight as a kid just to see what happens when I wake up. You won't be doing this here. It's a minor complaint, but some options at all in this game would have been nice aside from just text and game speed. Even SimCity back in the early 90s let you turn the text notifications off so the game would never be halted. So what else is there to say about Park Builder that hasn't been said yet? Not much. I mean, I could tell you that the music sucks and isn't reminiscent of the movies at all, but what can you do? It's the GBA, and they probably didn't have a license to cover that music either. And the game, as far as simulations go, is extremely stripped back with very limited options, but that doesn't exactly detract from the fun factor here. In fact, it might add to it if you aren't looking to sink your teeth into a crazy deep game with whack-ass mechanics. Yeah, I made a pun there. Did you catch it? Anyway, I had a really really good time playing this after randomly firing it up one day in bed, and before I knew it, I was still playing it hours later, then writing a script for a video on it later that night. That's the sign of a fun game to me, and it is a little surprising since I haven't really heard anybody talk about this game at all. I suppose it might not have been what people wanted from a Jurassic Park game back in the early 2000s, but I'm actually pretty happy that Konami decided to do something different for the time and give us a game like this one. Again, if you like park building and simulation games and you don't mind the stripped back nature of this one as it's on a portable system, I would say give this one a shot. You might be pleasantly surprised as I was. And there you have it. That's Jurassic Park 3 Park Builder on the Game Boy Advance. What did you guys think about that one? Is that a game you're going to check out? Let me know in the comments. I just wanted to personally pop back in here for a second so you could see my beautiful face, and I could personally thank you for coming here and watching this video today. I really appreciate that. If you haven't done so yet, please feel free to click subscribe and the thumbs up button if you liked this video. And I just wanted to let you know, too, I do stream multiple times a week, so if you're down for that, come and join us. It's a good time. But again, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.